Hi, my name is Kai Turnus, and today I'm going to be talking about the change of analysis throughout American literature. So, as college students, we have to analyze a lot of work, especially those of us who are English majors. But I want you to think about how many pieces of literature you have analyzed throughout your entire schooling career. Now, tack on to that how many other people have read and made opinions on the same exact works that you have. It's a lot. So my thesis for this is, although it is quite normal for authors to use setting and imagery to help leave their readers thinking in order to truly analyze their works, it seems as though it is incredibly easy for authors' works to be misconstrued as time goes on and more thoughts and opinions are thrown into the literary mix. Now, two of the three pieces of literature that I chose, and all of them were poems, are by Theodore Roth. Theodore Roth. And these two pieces of literature sit on complete opposite sides of the scale that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. So the first is The Waking, and then the second is My Papa's Waltz. So when looking and analyzing The Waking, we can see how Roth set up beautiful imagery and an amazing setting, and it's a beautiful poem, but there isn't much to analyze in the sense of there's not really any arguments that can be made with this poem. You see it, you appreciate it, you talk about it, end of story. But on the complete opposite side of that is My Papa's Waltz, which is infamous for not knowing and for having such a big argument, so to say, following it. This revolving around the father and whether or not he was being abusive throughout the story, the poem, or if this was just him having a couple drinks and roughhousing with his son. But we need to think of how many voices have been attached to just this poem and how many people attach their own personal feelings and how much of that gets taken and published into journals or such. And so other people are feeding in for other people's analysis. Now, a poem that sits kind of on the middle in my own eyes, I'm analyzing the poem, is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Now, this poem is so well known. It is loved by the media and educators alike, which is kind of hard to do with poetry or any piece of literature, really. But it is known for, all right, take the road less traveled. There have been so many songs written just taking the road less traveled because of the road not taken. But if we stray away from what everyone says about this poem, you can kind of nitpick it a little bit and see where things go off. Like looking at lines 10 through 12, we see, had worn them really the same, and both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden back. So if we look at this line, we can kind of guess and think about whether the path that we are seeing and we are talking about is really less traveled by, or if it's just less traveled by the narrator. So looking back at the three poems we've been able to talk about their analysis, it's clear to see that because of all the work that is put into these poems and how much time changes and however many voices get put into the literary mix, poems can change and the meanings can change because we don't really have the authors around to defend or explain their poems. Not that they ever have to, but things can change as time goes on and more thoughts and voices and opinions are added into the mix. Thank you.